Yeah, oh my goodness, getting jiggy with it. I haven't heard that Phil Smith track in a long time. Wow, Gideon, you're full of surprises. All right, we're at the Artist Spotlight, and I'm pleased to let you know that I've got two outstanding poets in the studio with me this afternoon. So I'm going to do some introductions, and then they're going to give you some fire on the mic. So we've got Jorge Vallejo, who is a Toronto-based poet, an essayist, and journalist. He has been fortunate to be mentored by Indigenous writers Simon Ortiz, Lee Miracle, Marilyn Dumont, and Daniel Heath Justice. His writing has appeared in the Kenyan Review, Crave It, Color Lines, and Racialicious.com, and has an essay forthcoming in the Yellow Medicine Review in the fall of 2012, which we're in now. He is the creator of and lead writer and vlogger at blackcoffeepoet.com and the Black Coffee Poet YouTube channel. I also have in the studio Dwayne Swan. His poetry merges different styles of writing with a perspective view of the world, saying things as they are. From afar, he comes across as kind of shy, but I know otherwise actually. But he's very interesting and controversial. He really wants to change the world, and he's very oriented towards his art. His first book, the poetry collection Bending the Continuum, was a recommended midsummer read by Open Book Ontario in 2011, and he has recently submitted two manuscripts, a poetry collection and a novella, to various publishers. So, gentlemen, welcome to One Voice.
Thank
Good
you.
afternoon. Good
Oh,
afternoon.
wow. So, we're going to get right into it. I guess maybe we'll have Dwayne get us started with some pieces. And again, in the communities such as this Regent Park, we're always vibing on resistance. There's always that element, in this concrete, world we have to navigate in. So I know the listeners are really looking for that energy from us this afternoon. So Dwayne, please bless us with some words.
Cool. Dwayne's a common mispronunciation of my name. My name's actually Dane Swan.
Oh, nice.
So,
Okay.
uh, I'm reading from Bending the Continuum, and the first piece is really subtle. It's an inside thing with a buddy of mine where we like having poems that have messages, but maybe takes like 2 or 3 reads.
Okay.
So this is Day Night Sky. We are more than the eclipse. Variety our beauty. We are not the same. Different tastes, visions, unify. We are not meant to fit in boxes. Tearing the cardboard, we refuse the crevice offered, spread our wings to open spaces. We kiss passionately in public. See the high wire as opportunity, suspended in air. We liquefy the glass above us. We are radiance, invoking proverbs of wisdom, uneclipsed.
Oh, wow.
That was sweet.
That was beautiful.
Thanks.
Okay.
And the second one is From These Eyes. This one's a lot more straightforward.
Okay.
Living the luxury of 2 jobs, media overload, mortgage payments, bills, more bills, and taxes. The West isn't always a capitalist paradise. Join me. I'll be the one visiting storytellers in trench towns, the guy learning new languages from locals who teach curse words first. We'll break bread with our hands, trying to explain to our new family why rich people use 2 spoons, 3 forks to eat a meal.
Hmm.
Try to see through human eyes, put prejudice aside, talk in terms of us instead of they, learn lesson through the art of conversation, find paradise, never return.
Nice.
Liked it. I liked
Wow. Okay, you're up next, Jorge.
it. Is this working? Yeah. Okay. Cool. So this is called The Buzz, and it's of a chapbook that I'm putting together, and it's about my mother.
Okay.
The Buzz echoes around the room, bounces off walls, creeps into other rooms. It's 4:30 a.m. She throws off her covers, plants her small feet on the ground, and erects her 5-foot frame. A new workday. Teeth brushing, bowel emptying, panties, bras, nylon slipped on. The coffee maker grumbles as she holds a mirror and applies makeup. The cold whispers and the bus hums through the windows. Her fingers unlock, open, shut, and lock the door. She catches the 512 streetcar to Yonge Street, transfers on the southbound bus, and serves the city's elite their salmon and egg whites by 7 a.m. That was from my mom, she's retired now, but she worked for years and years serving rich folk. So this next poem is something that it happened 2 years ago. You might have remembered a Métis man was murdered by a politician on the street.
Yes, yes.
And now that politician has written a book and he's profiting off the murder. It's a brand new book called 28 Seconds. Very disgusting.
Right.
So the poem is called License to Kill, a poem for Michael Brant and company. Were we naive to believe a white, Harvard-educated politician turned CEO would be tried for murder? When your Métis bounced from foster home to foster home, battling the bottle, brother in the pen, earning wages on a bike, you're not classified as a worthy life. System failed Darcy, system made Darcy, system killed Darcy, system erased. In memory of Darcy Allen Sheppard, 1976 to 2009, murdered by Michael Brant.
Okay. Wow. So I just want to ask both of you, why do you choose to write about issues that are pretty strong, you know, that have touchstones, so they kind of, they don't just touch, but they kind of burn a bit, because you're really going beyond the surface and touching nerves and triggers that we have with our relationships to society, government, our class, our race, our place. Why? Why do you do it?
For me, I don't just write this
Yeah.
type of poetry, but I feel there's a responsibility as a poet to at least allow people to understand what's actually going on in the world.
Right.
Part of the role of poet, or I'd say poet more so than writer, is to expose society to what society actually is. A friend once told me, and I talk about this in one of my other pieces, that back in the day, if you wanted to conquer a society, the first people you'd eliminate were the poets.
True.
So I was given the name poet. I decided, I have to represent that at a certain level, and so I feel responsible to make that part of the diverse cornucopia of what I write.
Yes. And Jorge?
Well, I think I agree with the responsibility, and as well yourself, Malikah, you're one of the amazing poets of Toronto, is that we are the ones that, for some reason, we just can't keep these stories inside. The dominant society doesn't hear such stories. The mainstream media doesn't talk about these stories, at least in this way. And we have this in us where we want to tell stories. We are storytellers, and we use poetry as that. And there is a responsibility, and we don't misuse it. We're using it for the common good, and to bring these stories that are under the table on top of the table and let everybody see them. Who really looks at the cyclist in a good way as a person, as someone who was living a life, who had a family. No, the focus is on now on this white politician, and poor him, now he murdered somebody. Oh no, how is he going to cope with the rest of his life?
Right.
As opposed to the person that died,
Yes.
regardless of the issues this person had.
Another quick question or comment. Working in the park, there's a lot of young people that also are aspiring to express themselves through spoken word and poetry. Um, do you have any thoughts for those young people who want to take on that element of storytelling as a way of expressing what really goes down in their community and what's really important to them as youth?
Well, for me, I find it's an extremely heavy burden. It's not something you should take lightly. Like, just because you see people doing it doesn't mean that you're meant to do it. But if you are willing to go through it, if you're willing to suffer, if you're willing to see other people suffer, then by all means go for it and go through it with your eyes wide open. Realize that this might not pay the bills. You might have to find something else, or you're going to have to make a lot of like I've made a lot of sacrifices in my life to be a poet. You know, I'm struggling economically, but I'm loving my life because I'm able to write whatever I want. And I've been able to go to so many places and meet so many people because of my writing. But at the same time, I'm not rich. So, but that's the sacrifice that I've made. And for me, I think I've had small sacrifices in comparison to other people who have known in the community who've pretty much given up everything just so that they could be the voice for everyone else. So I think people have to be aware of that when they step into it. Don't step in eyes closed. Be wide open and realize what you're getting yourself into.
Okay. Jorge?
Yeah, I would say, I agree with my friend here is that take it seriously. This is a craft, it's an art form, and go for it and be brave and be courageous and write what you want to write. Don't write what you think people want you to write. It has to come from here and work on it. Writing is about rewriting, and you got to read a lot and learn from those that came before you, and find someone that you like and read everything they've written. Or a spoken word artist, listen to everything they've
Say.
say. Exactly, right? And immerse yourself in the art, immerse yourself in the craft, and be brave and come to the page every day.
If I could add on to what Jorge is saying, art is about failure. So expect to fail a lot. We've all had that experience, and that's don't come in thinking, oh, you know what, this is a great piece. It probably isn't. You probably have to write it 5 more times.
Rewriting.
Yeah.
So that's another important element that you should accept, and if you're willing to accept it, then you'll be able to become an incredible writer.
Nice.
And it takes time and energy.
Yes, this is true. So before we close, I wanted to promote the Resistance Poetry 2.
Woo!
Yes. This is the International Festival of Poetry Resistance second anthology. It was just released in October during the festival, which we all participated in, and I wanted to read the piece that I contributed to the anthology. Of course, most people know me as an oralist, and I don't really publish because a lot of my work just comes from the dome, and I keep it very oral, but this piece seemed to really resonate with the festival, and I was approached by several people to contribute. It's called Dying Breed, and it really focuses on the missing Native women across Turtle Island, more than 500, and the fact that we really, the government of Canada hasn't really done anything proactive to find these women, or at least find out what's happened to them. So this is called Dying Breed. But a dying breed. An editor at Maclean's magazine writes, but a dying breed. She is, despite being the weaver of dreams beyond forecasted prophecies of all seeds of creativity. She is. She is but a dying breed. She is but a dying breed. She is. Like Indian summer, then quickly gone. She locks herself in attics. The elders plead for her not to cut her hair. She begs her brother to cut out her tongue so she can inhale gasoline fumes in silence. The elders plead for her to join the sweat and smudge away the violence. She can't. She won't. She won't blanket the truth, truth's blanket heavy as rocks contaminated with smallpox. But she is but a dying breed. She is but a dying breed. She is. No round dance speaks to the soles of her feet. She has no soul. She eats paper, unsigned treaties for breakfast, and drinks a cocktail of gin and water laced with lead before bed. Instead of giving prayer, she's giving head to blank stares and piss-drenched alleyways and nameless motels. This is her powwow. This is her gathering. She is but a dying breed. She is but a dying breed. She is. And I have passed her by many a millennia. On busy intersections and random street corners, our eyes meet. I pull away towards the east. I'm walking away from my sister. Away from my sister. Away from my sister. Chimigwech.
Thank you.
Uh,
That was amazing.
Heavy piece. So just maybe one more go around. If there's anything that you guys want to plug that's coming up for you, any performances, anything that you want to let the listeners know that they should know about. Dane?
Well, I have my book, Bending the Continuum,
Okay.
which was published last year by Gronica Editions.
Okay.
And you can look for it at chapters and stuff, places like that. And if they
Okay.
don't have it, just ask.
Okay.
That's pretty much the main thing right now. I've been writing a lot,
Nice.
so I'm coming, like, that's basically all I've been doing since August. So
Okay.
I'm like coming out of my cocoon now.
Right. And
you know,
there's a lot of stuff coming out.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
We'll look forward to that. Jorge?
Check out blackcoffeepoet.com and the Black Coffee Poet YouTube channel. And Malikah will be on there very soon,
Oh,
and Dane
nice.
as well.
Nice.
Dane as well. So thank you very much. Blackcoffeepoet.com and the Black Coffee Poet YouTube channel.
Okay, and I've got a show coming up on November 19th. November 9th, and I'll have more information coming soon, but it's an all-women's poetry night that's going to be happening, and Ignite Poets is responsible for that. If you know Shanez Johamadid, she's the one who's responsible for that, and it's going to be a night of women basically speaking, very raw, very rich. So a lot of stuff happening, and we'll keep you posted here on One Voice, CCLND Radio. Again, thank you to Jorge
Thank you.
and Dane for coming through, and keep your eyes and ears open for these guys. They're fantastic. Okay, a musical track, and then we're going to have Mahogany come in from the Academic Upgrading Program. She's going to talk a little bit about her opinions on certification versus education. Okay, take it easy.
I'd like to move around and tape you for the site
Okay,
and take
nice.
some photos. That was awesome.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, guys, thank you so
Amazing.
much.
That's
Oh
so
my
good. I'll
goodness.
just wait outside.
Okay, no problem.
Alrighty.